Hey y'all, it's Prosper. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're on a better camera. Y'all see the camera. Looks pretty clean, right? Huh? Woo! Looks pretty clean, huh? I bet. So, today, we're going to be reacting to a Mike Corazama video. If y'all know about Mike Corazama, he is like the Jimmy High Roller before Jimmy High Roller. He was like the OG analyst, like the YouTube analyst, right? So, today, we'll be reacting to the Lamelo Ball trade is even crazier than we think. So basically, as we all know, Lamelo Ball obviously got traded to the Wolves, right? For Nas Reed. That was a decent trade. I feel like, I can't lie, I would have preferred probably like, not Gobert, but like another like wing to be traded, like Jaden McDaniels. Because I feel like Nas Reed is actually a really good player, but maybe I'm tripping. I'm not sure. But let's jump into the video and let's get into it, y'all.
Traded to the Timberwolves for Nas Reed and picks in what would be the most shocking trade of the last decade if the Luka Doncic trade didn't exist. When the Wolves traded away Julius Randle, they called it addition by subtraction, as they were able to get off of Randle's $30+ million a year contract. But obviously,
yeah, Julius Randle, bro, he's overpaid in my opinion. I can't lie.
Reason. It was said that NBA vultures are swirling around Ant in anticipation of him potentially becoming the next superstar who's available in the trade market. Ant just watched Cat, his former #2 All-Star, win a championship on the Knicks, and Ant made it clear he wants to win now. He is sick of the double teams that were thrown at him with no #2 guy.
Damn.
Randle was just not cutting it. He shot,
bro, isn't Ant like what, 25, right? Bro, he has time, bro. I mean, not like time as in like 5 years time, but he has like a couple of years to, you know, get a better team. And that's exactly what he's looking for. He's looking for a #2 player, which is Lamelo Ball. So, what's better, guys? Honestly, I don't know. I only watch the Wolves besides playoffs, so I'm not sure how good these players are on the team. But is Nas Reed better than Jay McDaniels, or is Jay McDaniels better than Nas Reed? I have no idea. All I know is that Nas Reed is a good shooter, but I know Jay McDaniels is a good defender, so that's why I don't really understand the difference between those two players. But yeah, like I'm not sure who's better, but in my eyes, bro, they're overpaying Julius Randle like a fuck ton, bro. They're giving this guy like $35 million, bro. For what? For what? For him to score 8 points with 4 rebounds? Like, I'd rather take fucking Kyle Kuzma, bro. Okay, chill. But still, like, it's not something that we're actually looking for here. You know what I'm trying to say?
Elimination game against the Spurs, while he was also a complete ball stopper. But now the Wolves have an all-star talent headed into his prime in Lamelo Ball. The thing is,
how is Lamelo Ball, like 25?
A massive question. We know that Melo can be that second scorer that Ant needs, but we also know that Lamelo is a complete liability on defense. Crafted
oh,
NBA
he is? Holy shit.
97th percentile in offensive plus-minus.
Damn.
Amazing. And his creation percentage is among the best in the NBA, ranking in the 99th percentile. He's proven he's an elite playmaking guard who will make
step back.
Good luck double
Swish.
team. Lamelo was also one of the worst defenders in the entire NBA with a minus defensive plus-minus. So immediately you might be thinking, with Lamelo and Ant, the Wolves are certainly going to light up the scoreboard. But are they going to need to win games 125 to 120?
Yeah, that's
possibly
true, bro.
Play any defense. Ant also had a minus defensive
they got Rudy still, so
crafted NBA, although he was also in the 98th percentile in offensive plus-minus. The explosive offensive firepower is here, but will this just be a flashy team that brings in viewers but doesn't actually get the title he wants? It's here where
I'm not sure if Lamelo Ball is a franchise, you know, like cornerstone that can actually help
25 Western Conference Finals teams. The Wolves now have another defensive guard in Io, who we're going to dive into later, but they also have a tremendous wing defender and unselfish scorer.
I feel like they need one more
best rim protectors
like
in the
good
league,
player.
Rudy Gobert. Rudy
I don't know.
is a 4-time defensive player of the year. He was still first team all defense last season, and he just played incredible defense on Nikola Jokic switch that made people have to respect him. The fact that the Wolves didn't have to move Rudy Gobert in this trade is possibly the most important part of this deal.
Yeah, that was really important.
Proven Rudy Gobert's defense on the Wolves is what makes them work. In 2024 and 2025,
definitely true.
In
definitely
the playoff
true.
runs, Minnesota started Mike Conley at the point guard position.
That's
in his prime,
fucked.
Conley was an all-star level player. In those playoff runs,
he was
a
shit.
defensive liability. He really was just on the court to facilitate the offense and provide high-level IQ and passing. Conley lost his foot speed. He couldn't really guard anyone, and he averaged just 11.6 points per game in the playoffs in 2024, then only 6 in 2025. Lamelo is a big-time upgrade at the point guard spot, a position the Wolves have already seen success sacrificing defense with. That leads us to another huge question, though. From our perspective, we have to wonder, why the heck would the Hornets trade LaMelo Ball? It's very possible that Charlotte
I don't know what they're
not
trying to build
trust
out there, bro, but it's not working.
While LaMelo did just play 72 games this season, he also played in just 105 games between 2023 and 2024.
Damn, yo, he's always injured. That's true.
141. His
always injured, bro.
Him make over $40 million a year starting next season. So the Hornets might think they are selling on him while they can, and they're just going to bet on Brandon Miller and Con Knipple to be their real core for the future. For the Wolves, LaMelo's health is a real risk, but it's one the Timberwolves are gladly taking. LaMelo has proven he is a team player who does want to win basketball games. In the 2025 season, he averaged over 25 points per game, but in 2026, his points fell to just 20.1 points per game. That might look like a regression on paper, but LaMelo played 4 less minutes a game and took 4 less shots a game. He was willing to sacrifice to let guys like Con, a rookie, get their shots, which means now teamed with Anthony Edwards, there isn't going to be an ego battle here. LaMelo has proven he is a willing passer to talented teammates, and even better, LaMelo still has that all-star upside. He could push to be an all-NBA player. Making an all-NBA team is also not out of the question. We have never seen LaMelo play on a team that is actually competing, and yes, that will bring some questions itself, but I come back to that crafted NBA stat of LaMelo's creation percentage. For the first time in his career, Anthony Edwards will actually have a point guard who needs
finally, I can't lie. Relying on relying on Mike Conley to facilitate your offense every single year. Not it, bro. Like every single year you're expecting a 7-year-old or some shit. I don't even know how old he is, but I know he's old because I've been watching Mike Conley since he played for the Grizzlies. So that was probably like 10 years ago. So yeah. Finally they have an actual facilitator in LaMelo Ball. I'm pretty sure he's like top 20 in assists, top 15 in assists. So that's pretty good. So starting lineup is Gobert, Edwards, and then Randall, and then Ayo, and then LaMelo Ball. Yo, that's a pretty good lineup. Yo, I say they can get to probably the conference finals again. Because remember, they've gone to the conference finals without Cat, right? Or had they got to it without Cat? I'm not sure. Wait. I think they got to it without Cat as well, and with Cat. So they don't really need another star to get to the conference finals, but to win the finals, that's two different things. Getting to the finals is already a big jump. So I guess, but shit. I'm trying to say is that who's stopping the Knicks and who's stopping the Spurs / OKC Thunder? I say the Thunder is going to go back to the finals next year. Bro, Jalen Williams is going to be, J-Dub is going to be back. Most likely, he's on a contract, so he should be back. And then Spurs, bro, they picked up 2 new bigs and shit, so they should be fine for a while, low key. So
Ant in a way that Ant has never seen before. Plus, the two of them are now locked in for the future as long-term teammates who can grow and learn from each other's games as they both enter their apex primes. They were taken in the same draft class at 1 and 3, and honestly, I'll say it's amazing that the Wolves were able to pull this off. Getting an all-star level guard who hasn't hit his prime yet for next to nothing is absolutely worth the risk. Melo doesn't bring the off-court drama that a guy like Ja Morant does. That would be a real risk for me. The Hornets were one of the biggest surprise teams
Yo, I'm the drummer right, y'all.
As they were expected
Shit.
to be near the bottom of the league, but instead made the play-in game with Lamelo running the show. And the Wolves will have flexibility to make moves in the future. Guys like Dante DiVincenzo and Io will be movable contracts. They really won't have picks to work with, but if they're smart with their cap, if this team does not work out for the 2027 season, they can still make moves to compete going forward. Which means
makes sense.
adding in Lamelo could be the massive swing that the Timberwolves need to get to that championship level.
Nah,
Again,
yo, I don't see them beating the Spurs or the Thunder, bro. I don't know. They just don't have that, bro.
Stay under the second apron because they couldn't afford him, Ant, Gobert, and Jaden McDaniels. Only the Wolves then chose to extend Julius Randle after the trade for over $30 million.
Julius Randle's so ass,
Traded
bro. I'm
away
so sorry,
Nickeil
y'all.
Alexander Walker for cash. Walker is making just around $15 million a year, a very affordable contract. And this season, he exploded with the Hawks, winning Most Improved Player after averaging nearly 21 points per game. The Wolves already had a player who could help Ant on their roster, but they chose wrong. They let Alexander Walker go so they could keep paying Randle. Now, though, with Lamelo Ball...
Yo, Randle's not as good as people expect him to be. That's the thing, bro.
Because also here, there's no question that Anthony Edwards has been a prime-time playoff performer. Because here's where we need to talk about Anthony Edwards as a player specifically. There is no question that Ant has been a prime-time playoff performer. In the West as it is, making 2 Western Conference Finals in recent seasons is already extremely impressive. But there is still that question lingering about whether or not Anthony Edwards can bring a team all the way to the NBA Finals without true second star. In the first round of the 2024 playoffs, Ant was that type of A-tier superstar. He averaged around 29 points per game.
Okay, 29 points per game. It's pretty good.
And looked like he was taking the leap. People were saying he was Michael Jordan's son, and he was going to be the face of the NBA. But then, all of that was soon forgotten because against the Dallas Mavericks, Ant did
he
play
versus
well
like the best teams, bro. He versus Dallas. He versus OKC. He versus Spurs. He versus like the best teams. Like, bro, the Wolves, bro. Okay, look, the Wolves are a good team, but they're not better than the Thunder. They're not better than the 24 Dallas Mavericks. They're not better than the Spurs roster. Like, besides Rudy Gobert and probably Ayo, like, I don't see them going anywhere. But now they added LaMelo Ball onto the team. So now it's like, yo, we have LaMelo Ball now, bro. So now we can actually probably win. But who knows how LaMelo Ball is going to play? That's what I'm trying to say. No one knows truly what this team has capable of doing. Like, the capability of this team going to the finals can be high or it can be low. Like, we've seen it on the Nets. We've seen it on the Clippers. Like, it's not justified. It's a high probability, but it's not, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, bro.
On the Wolves, but Luka just dominated. Looking at the stats between the two, Luka had more rebounds and assists per game than Ant, and also outscored him by a tremendous amount, and Luka even had more steals. On paper, you could make the argument the Wolves had the better team headed into this series, but Luka was just the best player on the court. This isn't any hate on Anthony Edwards, though. We are just being realistic with the team he actually needs to win a title. Because Ant is not only one of the best players in the league, his last 2 seasons have put him in historic company. Only 9 players in NBA history have averaged 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game between the ages of 23 and 24. Only 7 have done it in the post-merger era. Those names are Michael Jordan,
LeBron James, Oscar
Kevin
Robertson,
Durant, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, and Anthony Edwards. And because he's about to turn just 25 years old with a ton of playoff experience already, Ant's actual Apex Prime might unlock the ability to carry a team all the way to the NBA Finals. We might see him reach a legitimate next level. Watching him in the playoffs this season, it is so apparent he has that dog in him. He has that willingness to win and put his body on the line, and he has just all of the confidence in the world to take any shot, to will his team to win if he can. But let's also remember, a lot of people did not like the fact that when the Spurs were blowing out the Timberwolves in an elimination game, Ant walked over to the Spurs
yeah, I remember that, bro.
Congratulating
just crazy
everyone because he knew his team had no chance. So even
Damn.
if Anthony Edwards becomes the best player in the world and can do it alone,
his team's ass.
Actions, it's obvious he wants someone to help him, and a player like Lamelo Ball would do exactly that. I will say that while I also think Lamelo is a tremendous talent and all-star level player, I don't think he is the type of vocal leader you need on a team to really
yeah, I don't know.
Championship culture.
He's more of like a single
Draymond type situation.
Like honestly, okay, look, guys, look. I feel like Lamelo Ball is the type of player that's only good on ass teams. If you understand what I'm trying to say, like he looks like the type of player that is only good on ass teams. Think about it, bro. The Hornets, have the Hornets ever gotten a 45 win plus season? It is what it is.
Have to be vocal because he has Draymond. Lamelo is actually best suited to be the second best guy on a team, and he is best suited to play with
I mean, he is,
like Anthony
but at what cost, bro? Like, I don't know.
The Western Conference just has monster teams at
Yup,
the top.
Spurs, OKC Thunder. I just said this shit.
Have not only proven to be absolutely dominant, but they are also dominant with young cores. Wemby just brought the Spurs to the NBA Finals in just his third season, with Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper being arguably the third best players in that playoff run. Nobody is saying the second best guy on that team is now De'Aaron Fox. That means
De'Aaron Fox is not good, bro.
Going to get tremendously better as time goes on because these guys are going to get better with age. The Wolves need to build.
Bro, imagine if De'Aaron Fox didn't go 13 for 15 every single game. Oh my god, fuck.
Around Anthony Edwards right now, or they are never going to take the leap to NBA champions. In the 2025 Western Conference Finals, we saw the same thing play out as in 2024. It was incredible in the first two rounds. He was incredible all season, but then facing
the conference finals,
OKC threw at him. Now with Julius Randle as his secondary scorer, Ant was outdueled by Shea, who had a much better roster and much more
of course,
help. Yes,
of course.
Lamelo would be questions on defense, but the double teams on Ant would disappear with another big time perimeter scorer. Those double teams are still coming if Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid are the secondary scorers. I'm sorry. I love both of those players, but teams will be able to game plan around Ant unless the Timberwolves add another high-level scorer. And I will say, while the Wolves have made some mistakes, especially missing out on Nickeil Alexander-Walker for just $15 million a year, I think Minnesota did just steal a great role-playing guard in Aya. Most of the cap space the Wolves freed up
Aya was playing really good against that fucking Denver series.
Immediately given to Aya, who they signed to a 5-year, $112 million contract, and $112 million looks huge on paper, yes, but that is in the mid $20 million a year range, which is a good contract for a guy like Aya. Aya emerged as a playoff hero after Anthony Edwards went down with an injury in Game 4 of the first round against the Nuggets. In that game, Aya exploded for 43 points off the bench on 13 of 17 shooting, as he was just unguardable. The Wolves believe this was not a fluke, that Aya was entering his prime at the age of 26 and is worth over $20 million a year. He is a solid defender. He is a willing passer.
He's really good,
he is
bro.
a guy who plays to win. He fits Minnesota's culture perfectly. And we also have to remember that while technically Minnesota took a step back this season in not reaching the Western Conference Finals, Anthony Edwards was playing through a very real injury. He was hobbling on one leg, and the Wolves took the Spurs to 6 games. Minnesota really is on the fringe of championship contention. Jaden McDaniels are entering prime seasons and only gotten better as the years have gone on. But I have to say, Minnesota does need to make the right moves. Because,
they don't have that
right now,
that
Anthony
depth, bro.
Edwards is happy with the Timberwolves.
They just don't have that roster that can excel. You know what I'm trying to say?
The Minnesota Timberwolves front office is that at some point, does Ant, through his representation, Bill Duffy and others, signal a desire to be elsewhere? We are nowhere near that point, but the fear is there. The Wolves want Anthony Edwards to stay in Minnesota for his entire career. They are
that's not happening. I don't see him staying, bro. I don't know, y'all. I don't see him staying, bro.
And trading for Lamelo Ball might be remembered as the trade that brought the Minnesota Timberwolves not only their first conference championship ever, but also their first NBA title. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel,
that was a fucking good video. Yo, this guy has not aged. This guy's not aged, bro. Okay, but let me know if y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know if these takes were good. Let me know if y'all really think that Lamelo Ball can really make an impact on the Wolves. I say he can, but to make it past the Western Conference Finals, especially in these years against the Thunder, the Spurs, I don't see that happening for a while. I say give it like 2-3 years probably, but for right now, let's be for real, it's not happening. But yeah, so I'll see y'all in the next one, and shit, you prosper.